G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. So jumping into Go Battle League. So as you can see, currently rank 8, around the middle of rank 8. And trying to push through into rank 9. So we're in the Ultra League and I'm going to give Premier Cup a go. So if you don't want to be running into Cresselia, Registeel, Melmetal, Giratina, give the Premier Cup a go and you'll get a little bit more variety. So I'm going with Lapras, Snorlax and Gengar there. So Lapras running Ice Shard, Surf and Ice Beam. Snorlax running Lick, Body Slam and Superpower, and Gengar running Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball and Shadow Punch. So let's jump into the first few games and see what we get. So Lapras on the lead. Obviously not a terrible match, but also not a great match. So pretty good in terms of being able to throw those surfs, but seeing as its fast move is ice, it will be resisted by the Typhlosion. So out they swap. I decide to stay in this match because the Typhlosion is running, because I want to throw that surf there and then match it with the Snorlax v Snorlax. So really good to get that Snorlax out in the open so it doesn't get matched up against my Gengar. Gengar will be absolutely walled by the Snorlax, so I need to take this out before it sees it there. So for this one, charge up to double Superpower. You want to over farm a little bit just to make sure, just try and worry your opponent into it. So I'm going to throw into a Superpower now and hopefully KO from this range if I don't get a shield. So no shield, was able to KO at that range. So out comes the Typhlosion. And because it is running a ghost type fast move, it is going to have to charge me down. So I know I'm debuffed here, but because I know it's going to have to charge me down, I throw my energy, so I shield that up and throw energy here, and I get double shielded here and able to take it down. So there's a bit of a misplay by the opposition, and then able to get to another body slam. So this Snorlax has put in some work. So waiting for the Frenzy Plant to come through, so they're just farming me up now. So they are farming like you would not believe. So they're going to have back-to-back Frenzy Plants here. So in this instance I've come out with the Lapras because obviously they are going to be throwing the Frenzy Plants. This should be very, very close to KOing here, which it is, and then I'll be able to fast move farm that down. I had the Gengar in the back there, ready to go. So wanted to leave the Gengar in the back because it's going to resist that grass type moves. So wanted to burn that energy on the Lapras. In the end, did not need the Gengar to come in and finish it up. So was able to fast move farm down, which was really quite nice. So jumping into the second match, and let's see what we get on the lead. So leading an Ampharos, so this is horrible, just horrible for me. So swapping this out into the Snorlax, and let's see what we get. So for this, it could be the Focus Blast, so you've got to respect that. Shielded it up, and it was the Focus Blast, so that was really nice for me. Going to go the Body Slam here, just because I don't want to debuff myself quite as quickly. So got the shield, which is really good, and then get to the next Body Slam. So let's put some pressure on those shields and manage to get 2 shields. So next I will throw the Superpower. At this point I'm wanting to do a little bit more damage and get there just before they get to their next charge move, expecting this to be the Body Slam. It wasn't, it was just the Thunder Punch. So now they're going to have to throw back-to-back Thunder Punches and burn their moves. Gives me a chance to come out and farm up a little bit with the Gengar. So they did swap that out straight away into the Swampert. So I will throw Shadow Ball, obviously shielded down, and tried to get a switch out there, but was not able to do so. So they Hydro Cannon there, use the shield, will be able to farm this down, and then come out to a Charizard. So able to get to the Surf there. Obviously the Fire is going to be neutral on Lapras because of the Ice and Water typing. So obviously Ice is going to be taking super effective damage, Water is resisted, and then able to, thought I was able to farm that down, not able to do so. It comes out and burns all of my energy. Really not ideal for me. And then out comes the Thunder Punch. I'm able to finish that off and then get to the Sucker Punch, which will be doing enough damage to the Charizard to be able to take it out. So really close game there, really good on the opponent's switch in there, and that's what you've got to be careful of when you're getting close to KO, that they don't swap in and take you out with the last little bit of health remaining from switching to something that's super effective against you, that's going to take you out quicker than you anticipate. So really be ready on those to throw those fast moves, because in that instance it all went to waste. So it is what it is. So on the lead, so Venusaur on the lead is not great for me. In this instance, what I like to do is shield up, because obviously the ice moves are going to be doing super effective damage. I want to charge up to the Ice Beam, and then I throw the Surf. So I get a shield there, which is absolutely perfect. I'm not sure why I've thrown the Ice Beam here. So in this situation, 100% throw the Surf, and that just costs me a little bit more energy there. So we'll shield up and then look to switch out for some reason. So this is a horrible, horrible play. So I've switched out, and in comes Gengar, and it's now switch locked in against a Snorlax. There is nothing I can do. So this is really bad. So what I should have done is just let the Lapras either finish off the Venusaur, and then come in. So this wasn't switch locked in. It's just completely hopeless. There's nothing I can do. Absolutely nothing I can do. So they're able to just completely wall me there. And then in comes my own Snorlax. They've got all the energy in the world, a little bit of lag, expecting a flurry of superpowers here. So there's superpower 1. Let's have superpower number 2, and then they switch out and manage to clear that debuff, and then they'll come back in. So in comes the Charizard, able to get to the Surf to be able to take this out, but then obviously they've got a very healthy they've got a Venusaur with Charged Energy, which is going to take this out, and then they've got a very healthy Snorlax in the back that has no longer got its debuff. So I got to the superpower first. This is not going to be enough to take it out. So in big lesson to learn from this one is, don't get your Gengar switch locked in. Do not get that switch locked in. If it gets switch locked in against a Snorlax, you are in trouble. You've basically just given away a Pokemon and let them farm up a lot of energy for the Snorlax there. So just don't do it. Switch lock in your Snorlax if you have to get one of them switch locked in, or wait until you know what is there, or you've already faced the Snorlax. So on the lead, we've got a Gyarados, which is an okay matchup. The Ice Beams will be doing neutral damage. They correctly shielded that one up, which is unfortunate. In later games, I have been throwing Surf at this point. The same as I would for a Venusaur. For this one, I double Ice Beamed, and they double shielded their Gyarados. So that's good play on their part. Had I thrown the Surfs, absolutely perfect. Would have been able to get to another charge move rather than going down, so still could have won that lead match. So you want to throw straight Surfs. If they don't shield them, fine. If they do shield them, you can still get there by using a couple of your own shields. You still be able to win that matchup, which is what you want. So in came the Snorlax to finish it off. Obviously it took a lot of damage in doing so, but I also did save up a lot of energy. So out comes the Gengar. They swap in a Typhlosion, which is doing a lot of damage. However, I was able to farm up some energy on the Machamp, so able to quickly charge down the Typhlosion because they do not have shields. At this point, they got to a charge move, use my last shield. They're within Sucker Punch range, so I will just go for that, not for Shadow Ball, and then this will be good game right there. So able to take that game as well. So looking pretty good there. So jump into the next one and see what we get. So searching for an opponent. So usually it doesn't take too long to find opponents down at rank 8. So obviously middle of rank 8 is probably fairly well where most people are at, so good representation of what you'll actually see. So Lapras on the lead versus Ampharos, so 2 Ampharos leads in this set, which is pretty bad. So tried to switch out on the charge move there, and I have noticed in this latest update that switching out takes a lot longer. So they managed to get to their charge move much quicker than I was anticipating. So I will just throw the Surf out. Unfortunately, they did get an extra fast move in there. So managed to grab the shield. So I'll switch into the Snorlax here. And going for the body slam. So I am not going to shield this one up because I think it was too fast, and it is just the Thunder Punch. So count those fast moves, make sure you're counting away, so you can sort of reserve some of your shields. So got to the body slam again, feeling that this is going to be a Thunder Punch. It was not, it was a Focus Blast. So they're able to Focus Blast me, come out with the Gengar to farm this down to get a bit of an energy lead. Gone straight for the Shadow Ball. So people don't seem to like to shield Gengar. They don't want to be baited with the Sucker Punch. So that works out really well. So shield up this Frenzy Plant, and then I'm going to farm this down, and let's see what is in the back. So it is a Clefable in the back. So throwing the Sucker Punch to try and bait a shield, I did not get a shield, so that's really bad for me. And then I switch in and throw the Surf, trying to get another shield. So not able to get the shield, so instead I'm just giving that all the energy in the world, and then have to throw a Sucker Punch when I come back in. So for there, should definitely not have switched in, and then they're going to throw their charge move and win that game. So that was a big mistake there. Should have stayed in with the Gengar and just thrown the move. In that instance, again, should have just Shadow Balled straight away, but you never know. So able to go 3 and 2 in that set, and we'll jump straight into the next set to see how we go. Let's see. So we've got Lapras versus Polywrath, so really bad for me. So obviously, I want to get out of there. Swapped on the charge move. It doesn't make any difference. They're both weak to fighting. The Dynamic Punch is going to do super effective damage. I knew this, but I feel that Lapras potentially has more play in the back, and Lapras, yeah, he's just going to go to absolute pieces. So didn't shield that one up and got baited with the Ice Punch, which is brilliant. So not going to shield this as well. So they're going to have to double Ice Punch there, and still wasn't able to take me out. And I'm able to get to a Body Slam, which puts this really close in range. So out comes the Gengar because I want to farm this up a bit. I know it's going to be an Ice Punch, but Gengar is just so glassy, it needs to be shielded. So shielded that up, got a lot of energy on the Gengar there, and then waiting to see what the next thing is to come out. So out comes the Empoleon, and goes straight for that Shadow Ball, and no one likes to shield the first move because, and again, tried to switch out, went too slowly, so instead staying in, Drill Peck comes through, and I'm going to fast move farm it down. They're going to have to start throwing moves, and it is a Magneton, so really unfortunate because Magneton is going to do really well against the Lapras, and I tried to swap again and lost all that energy, so didn't let me swap and lost all that energy. So should have 100% been throwing that energy, but not able to do so. So got the last shield. They're going to discharge me here. It shouldn't take me out, and then I will be able to get to the Surf, and that should be KOing the Magneton because it's fairly neutral, and then able to fast move farm it down just before it gets to a discharge. So able to take that win. 100% should have thrown any of Gengar's charge moves. Either would have got the last shield or would have done that enough chip damage to make that a much more comfortable win. So would have been able to KO from the Surf rather than have to farm down afterwards. So on the lead is Gyarados. So neutral damage from the ice moves because it is a flying type as well as water. So straight into the Ice Beam and no shield, so it does a huge amount of damage. In comes the Venusaur here. Very slow on the switch, so you need to watch your switch and get in quicker. charging up to just below the Shadow Ball. So when you're charging moves and they're not shielded, when you're charging moves, make sure you charge enough to the higher charge move, because that is, he didn't need to shield because I was, he knew that it was not going to be a Shadow Ball, so didn't have to shield it. So make sure you get to those higher cost charge moves before you throw your lower cost to be able to bait properly, because lots of people are counting those moves. So out comes a Swampert, and with the Lapras in the back there, that's working out okay. So have expecting to get the Earthquake, so swapped in, caught the Earthquake on the Snorlax there. They've swapped in with their Gyarados. It's just an Aqua Tail, so not going to do too much damage, so able to come in, grab a shield. Finally, they've decided to shield something, and I'm debating what to do here. Another Aqua Tail takes me out, and then in comes the Lapras. So I'm going to have to commit to the farm down here, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to let this go. I'm hoping it's an Aqua Tail. It is, so it does absolutely no damage, and then I'm going to have to save up and get 2 charge moves on this Swampert. So we'll be able to get to a charge move. I think they'll get to one of theirs first, expecting this to be a Hydro Cannon. Turns out they threw the Earthquake. I was expecting them to try and double Hydro, but it was not going to be a chance for them, and then able to throw the second Surf and take that match. So that was a good game right there. So fairly neutral / losing lead, but able to come back from it because of correct shield usage and throwing the charge moves and not being baited. So Dragonite on the lead, absolutely outstanding. So they're 100% going to be swapping out. So out comes the Snorlax here, and it is hopefully going to be able to tank a couple of Hydro Cannons and then get to the Body Slams to put on some pressure there. So I do want to maintain switch if possible, because I do want to keep the Dragonite matched up against my Lapras. So unfortunately, Swampert is just so spammy getting to those charge moves. I decide to throw the Superpower. It doesn't shield, but it doesn't do anywhere near enough damage. They then give up switch advantage to swap into their Dragonite, and then I swap straight into the Lapras. Throw the Surf here, because if they don't shield it, it's going to take them very low. If they do shield it, happy days, and then I'm able to fast move farm it down. So that seems to be, by the time you get to the Surf, you're sort of in a good position to be able to do that. So again, able to throw the Surf and then try and farm this down. I do think this is going to be the Earthquake, so shield that up. And it is actually a Sludge Wave. So out comes a Alolan Sandslash, and I don't really know what to do here. I take too long to switch. So Ice Punch comes through on the Gengar, and it's able to double Ice Punch me before I can even get to a move. I'm able to survive with one and just get through a Sucker Punch, so really not good. That thing's absolutely shredded my Gengar there. Come out with the very, very dead Snorlax to throw a charge move that is not very effective, and then come out with the Lapras to then throw a Surf, which again is enough to do neutral damage. Out comes the Swampert and able to fast move farm it down. So really took all of my Pokemon there to take out that Alolan Sandslash. I just wasn't prepared for it, and because it was, I think, the only one I've seen, really threw me. So into the next match, and again, Lapras lead into Dragonite is absolutely fantastic. Out comes the Venusaur, which is perfect for me. Want to get rid of that, so I swap into the Gengar. So charge up to enough for a Shadow Ball, and it does not shield, so really unfortunate for me there. So throw back to back Shadow Punches and able to take out the Venusaur. So come into the Dragonite, and I'm hoping at this point I've forgotten how many moves I've done. I did grab a shield with that Sucker Punch, so absolutely spectacular, and then they throw the Dragon Claw, and I will let that go down. Again, I've switched in, and I will throw the Surf, so let's see if we get a shield. It is going to be resisted, and so no shield, but able to then fast move farm it down. So out comes a Machamp, so I'm kind of hoping that they're throwing a Rock Slide there. There's no reason they would. Cross Chop is much more energy efficient at this point. So out comes the... Ooh, and not able to get to the charge move on the Snorlax. So throwing the energy here on the Surf, so have to throw back-to-back Surfs here. Had I been able to get to the Body Slam with the Snorlax, would have been able to take that match, but instead they are able to fast move farm me down, so really unfortunate there, but that is absolutely unfortunately fine. So let's jump into the next one and see what we get. So Yoshio, so Lucario, so not good. It's going to be throwing the power-up punches, so I'm going to go into Snorlax, which is, again, still not a great swap-in. So this is normally running power-up punch and Shadow Ball. Expect this to be another power-up punch, they're not going to be throwing another Shadow Ball. So I'm going to throw in my own superpower there, and then it's able to farm me down. So now I'll swap into my Gengar. Got to the Sucker Punch in time, able to throw that. They're not shielding that up, and so out comes the Blastoise. So going straight for the Shadow Ball here, so they've still got 2 shields, fully expecting a shield here, and again, people do not like to shield up the Gengar on its first move because they do not want to be baited by the Shadow Ball, by the Sucker Punch, so Shadow Punch. So now I'm going to throw Shadow Punches, and it's going to have to shield up. There's really no reason not to, and then it's able to waterfall me down, which is unfortunate. So out comes the Lapras, and this is not a good matchup, so it depends on what moveset it's running. So it throws the Hydro, which is really bad. Obviously, it doesn't do too much damage, and then I save up to double Surf and throw those. So Surfs are going to be resisted because of the water typing on Empoleon, but I mean, I've got no better option. The ice moves are double resisted because of the steel and water typing, so I need to be throwing these Surfs. They're going to be the best moves for it. It gets to another charge move, expecting this to be a double, but it is a Drill Peck, so I'm not sure why they didn't use that at the start, and able to fast move farm that down. So really good there, able to go 4 wins. So some of the big things to keep in mind are a lot of people are running Snorlax, so do not get your Gengar switched in. So as you saw in my second game, second or third game, really bad play there. Do not switch lock in your Gengar. If you get if they have a Snorlax, they 100% wall you, especially when you're running Shadow Ball. If you're running Focus Blast, you've got some play there because you can one-shot them, almost. So, yeah, with this moveset, it's probably not a safe switch in unless you've already seen what their team is, so don't use it as a safe switch option. It is not safe. That's it for now. Hopefully it was useful. That's my score changing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.